trip out about my theory about the turkeys.
What? They're laced.
They're laced.
They're laced with fucking
something, bro.
What's that shit called that everybody's dying?
Something. COVID.
No, not that shit. The other one. The shit they're putting in drugs and stuff.
Fentanyl.
Fentanyl laced turkeys.
I don't know about fentanyl, but it's something.
No shit.
Because every year we do this.
I ate carbs like a motherfucker. Dude.
Same.
But I was kind of saving it for Thanksgiving.
That's good.
Hell yeah. So I was like, man, I ain't had mashed potatoes in like 6 months. I was like, I ain't have no fucking cornbread, no biscuits, none of that shit.
You were like straight keto or what? Like,
yeah. The last time I indulged was like in for Jess's birthday, Halloween. But all I did was pasta. I didn't go to nothing else, just pasta and pizza. And after that, from Halloween to like Thanksgiving,
you were good.
Yeah, I just been straight
That's
protein and veggies and shit.
That's pretty good, bro.
And I stuffed myself. I gained like 5 pounds since Thanksgiving.
For real?
Yeah. Yeah.
I probably have gained too.
But I'm good now. I'm back.
That's good.
I'm back. I went to the gym last night.
You did?
Yeah.
That's good.
Late. So I was in that bitch just sweating off that gravy and shit. But a bunch of gravy's falling off my face, bro.
Bro. And I
Dude,
didn't go
okay, so you had turkey?
Yes. And ham.
Do you always have turkey every year?
We do the traditional Thanksgiving. Even though we're kind of Mexican,
But that's, okay, so J-Vaz and his girl talking about they've never had turkey for Thanksgiving.
So they do like tamales?
They do tamales and they
tamales.
Said carne asada.
So that means your parents or like your families are really, really Mexican, right?
Yes.
I disagree. But no, I feel like
that's. I mean, yeah, I think that's why.
Yeah, because it's more like a whitewash thing. Like my grandma's really Mexican too, right? My grandparents, but they were like really like into the American culture, into like.
Because that's how I grew up in a way too.
Yeah, like the Americans are doing it, so we're gonna do it.
Ever since I can remember, we've always had turkey for Thanksgiving.
Now Christmas and New Year's, that's another story. That's
we eat the same thing for
everything.
Yeah. We're either very Mexican or very uncultured.
Well,
but I wouldn't even say like, I don't know, because like Jessica's family, like they're real Mexican and shit.
They do turkey?
Like they're like first generation, like, and they don't do turkey. They don't even do Thanksgiving. Like they don't celebrate it at all.
I think because of like what it means, right? Because like.
But they celebrate it, but they just don't do the turkey, right? Like since y'all was kids and shit?
Yeah, we've always celebrated it. Well, no, I'm not going to say always. I don't think this is like very celebratory thing in Mexico.
Right.
Is it? No, it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
We started celebrating when we moved to like McAllen. And I was possibly like 9 or 10 the first time we celebrated it. And I had already been in the States for 6 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's like just a U.S. thing, right? United States thing. Which is back to my theory about the laced turkeys. Like, they know every year they're going to put out all these turkeys. And, of course, everybody's going to buy them. Everybody's going to eat them. Like, why wouldn't they take advantage of that? Like, that's just such a setup right there, right?
So, what they lace them with or what?
I don't know, but I just felt like
with
really,
the vaccine?
like... I just felt like after I ate turkey, I felt really drugged for, like, 2 days. I just felt like I was, like, in a coma and everything was just, like,
Damn. How much turkey did you eat?
I mean, I didn't eat that much turkey, but I ate like everything else. And then, so like on the previous episode, remember when I was talking about sugar and the effects that it has on your brain?
Mm-hmm.
So like there was a lot of sugar that I partook in.
Oh, yeah, me too, dude.
Yeah, even the ham, they put fucking brown sugar on that bitch and pineapples and cherries.
Bruh, I had some cheesecake, some fucking pie.
Banana pudding?
No, I had no banana pudding.
I had banana pudding twice.
I had some fucking buñuelos.
Oh, we didn't do buñuelos.
Dude, I had shit. I was on that shit.
Y'all do be mixing the Mexican shit onto this.
Yeah, like I said, there's always turkey, but then there's always like also tamales and fucking the champurrado and all that shit, dude. Like fucking.
I mean, what
is champurrado?
Isn't that like the chocolate with the?
That's what y'all had at
the hot chocolate.
It's like. Right, yeah, it's like thick ass
hot chocolate
in a way, kind of. Yeah.
Mexicans and their food.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Fucking Christmas. I'm waiting for that. Then that pozole, dog. That pozole. Hell yeah.
I've never had pozole in my life.
You
No?
lying.
Never.
J-Vaz, you're missing out.
Why?
It's the way it smells.
What?
Pozole or menudo?
Menudo.
Whatever. I have never had either one.
What?
Okay, menudo, But pozole, yeah. You're missing out.
Pozole go hard, bro.
Yeah.
It's because menudo's like intestines that they just clean out.
But there's also like,
Menudo's alright.
but there's good menudo and then there's like trash menudo.
Fatty
like-
menudo. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
so
gotta
the-
learn how to cook
Depends.
it.
So there's like menudo where people don't actually like, because it's intestines, like you said, right? But they don't clean it
Yeah.
the right way, and that's
Some-
where
it's nasty.
it'll smell
Because
or it
it's
tastes.
it's where the shit is. So if you don't clean it, you're eating shit, bro.
Clip that shit.
Yeah. So menudo, ever since I've like transitioned to kind of like going vegan, but not vegan because I
Shut
still
the
eat meat.
fuck
I
up.
know it's like not vegan at all, but I'm trying to get there, you know. So I let go of like
Baby
pork.
steps.
Yeah, I let go of pork. I let go of like shit like that, intestines. What else do we eat? Like barbacoa and like lengua.
I don't eat it because it's animal cruelty if you think about
Oh my god.
Are we gonna get
love
into
it.
it.
Shouts
it?
out to PETA.
Are we
I
gonna get
love
into
The
it?
show
I
is
love
brought to you by
menudo.
PETA.
I love pozole, dog. Shit.
I've never had pozole either, by the way. Yeah, pozole or menudo. Never
My
had
girl
it.
makes some
Pozole's good.
bomb ass pozole.
Because you can do
dude.
pozole with chicken. and it's
But
good.
nah,
I like it
it
with
ain't the
chicken.
same.
We do chicken.
I don't know. Get some of that good red pork pozole.
I
That
try
shit
not to do
hard.
pork. So
That
okay,
shit
so
hard.
my aunt had made some Brussels sprouts with bacon and cheese, and them hoes were so good, right? So my brother was like, "Yeah, Tia always makes the bougie food and the sinful food."
The sinful food.
Yeah, that's what I
What
told
does
him.
that
I was
mean?
like, "What is sinful food?" And he's like, "You know, like the stuff that's really good, but you're not supposed to eat it." And I was like what? And he's like, "Well, like lamb. Lamb, we're not supposed to eat it.
We're not supposed to.
Supposedly, like if you're a Christian, you're not supposed to eat lamb."
Is that why they had that video that you showed us last the fucking lamb?
Wait, why not?
I don't know. My brother was just telling me like, cause you know, like that's the representation of Christ. So like, there's certain animals that certain
A lamb?
cultures. Yeah, like the Hindus, they don't eat cows. Cows really sacred to them.
Right.
So supposedly that's like lamb to
But
Christians, right?
Just to put all this into consideration, don't forget that in India, rats are glorified.
yes. So,
So they
so
don't
this
eat
just
rats
goes from
either?
belief to belief. Like they have a temple for rats.
yeah, like
What the
rats
fuck?
are.
People go in there and drink milk that have already been drank or licked by rats
What the fuck?
It's their culture. I mean, that's how
because
they.
they're like part of like a godly thing to
Yeah.
them.
Okay. So what do you do if you see a rat in your house? You kiss it?
I don't think they would see rats in their house, right?
No, because they have a. I don't think so because they have a temple straight for them. Like
Yeah.
where, I guess you
The
can
rats
catch one and
obey.
go drop it off at the temple.
They just go.
Like there's go to YouTube whenever you get a chance, look it up, and there's like or it's a rat temple somewhere
That's
in
pretty
India.
interesting. Yeah, yeah.
temple
Different
in
cultures
India.
believe in different shit, you know?
The lamb video was a PETA video, by the way.
Isn't it in Taiwan where they like do the same thing for dogs? They have like a little dog festival every once a year.
And they kill them.
No,
They eat
they
'em?
They
like
do that here.
they praise them, and they put like little shit like
White people do that here.
they're all in their strollers and shit.
Bro, white people get treated better than most people.
Bruh.
I mean, white people. White people
right
treat
about
their
that.
dogs.
White people-
Well, that's true too.
okay,
White people treat their dogs like fucking saints and shit.
but then they
dog.
treat like black people and Mexicans like. Nah, I'm just kidding.
I mean,
Like
for
the
real, because
help.
if they see a dog on the side of the road, they're gonna pick it up. If they see a Mexican or a
Oh
black
my
person on the
They're
side of the
calling
road,
ICE. Or the
They
cops.
call it nice.
They're hiding their purses and they're calling ICE.
Bro, what the fuck?
Nah, there's racist white people and then there's not racist white people, right? There's
Yeah.
like the white people that are like trying to like make up for their racist ancestors, right?
They're
And
extra
like,
nice.
Yeah. Here, take my wallet. Take my card.
Take my wallet. Dude.
I mean,
yeah,
I'm just saying. So
have y'all
that
seen the video of that black dude that went into? Never mind. I'm just gonna show y'all the video.
Okay, just show us the video.
Why
Continue
is
the
it
conversation because I have to find it
Because
first.
I'm trying to find that video now.
Oh.
Hell yeah, dude. So what about the turkey in the fucking
Turkey's lace.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely lace.
Wait, speaking of turkey, I want to take it back because you said something about how some people don't celebrate it, right?
Yeah.
We celebrate it, but it's not like a like a let's go around the table and say what we're thankful for or anything like that. How I imagine people celebrate it.
Yeah.
We just eat and chill or whatever, and
Yeah.
we have the day off. But you said some people don't celebrate it because what it stands for.
Yeah.
What does it stand for?
So like if you're really Native American, let's just put this out there. There's American Indians and there's Mexican Indians. You know how like Mexican people say, "Oh, ellas like se parece muy India" or whatever. Yeah, and it's like, dude, we're all Indians because we're all Mexicans, you know, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
if you go into history, you'll do all that. And then so there's American Indians and there's Mexican Indians. Well, American Indians don't celebrate that at all because it's actually a national day of mourning for them because of what actually happened. It wasn't like how they said it in school, like school lied to us about everything. The people came and it wasn't a feast, it was actually like a war. And it's like, I haven't gotten too deep into it, but I just know that it was a war and like people were slaughtered, children, men, and women were slaughtered.
So where'd the story
And,
come from with the pilgrims and shit?
I think that was just America's way of like creating the narrative, like creating history, his story to fit like their agenda. And then think about it, like those were our ancestors in some kind of way. So it's like, you wouldn't want to teach this to these kids and then these kids are going to be like, okay, well, you fucking killed my ancestors, or you know, like, so to me it was always taught that Indians were not me. Indians were separate from my family and my people until I got older and did my own research and I'm like, wait,
Like, yeah, we're
these niggas came from the same
We're
place.
natives.
Yeah, we're natives. And it's like, wow, okay. So that changes everything. Christopher Columbus wasn't a hero. He was actually a fucking weirdo masochist, you know? But people are so busy in their lives that they don't sit and make these connections. And actually, the only way that I made this connection was because I took like a shitload of acid and I was just like deep into this fucking like researching like everything, you know, like researching everything.
saw the truth.
Saw the truth. My third eye open. Vato.
Let me show you the video right quick.
Show us the video.
What he
That's so bad. That's so bad.
Give me everything.
Is that dude Asian?
Bro, no, he's white.
Oh, okay.
Remember we were talking about white people, why they're so scared. Give me everything. The way he jumped, though.
Bro,
me
play it one more
everything.
time. One more time. That's so bad. That's so bad.
Yeah.
It looked like he was gonna try to kick him or something. He was trying to do something. That little jump and shit.
I was actually thinking of that the other day, how like racism is like passed down, you know? Like from generation to generation. But it's also the same thing because the blacks and Indians like were enslaved at the same time. So it's like we all have a similar history and there's just like white people that like, you know, are the ones that always come out on top in the history, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much shit that you don't even know like whether to believe or not because it's like, okay, if you go and do real research on it, it's like a whole nother thing. For example, like Thanksgiving, like there's so many topics that are like that if you go deep into them, it's like they're not at all what they make them seem.
Right.
And I
I
don't
feel
know.
you.
So I was thinking about Thanksgiving and I'm like, I'm going to eat, but I'm not going to be happy about it.
Happy Thanksgiving. What's so happy about?
I'm not happy. Nah, I mean, we shouldn't look at shit like that. Like, you should fucking I mean, you ain't celebrating, you ain't glorifying none of that shit.
Yeah,
Like,
true. Because
you
we
just
don't
sitting
even...
around with your family and fucking eating, bro. Like,
Yeah. And all we do is we do a prayer. Like we make sure everybody in the family is like here and then we just do a prayer and then we eat. But we don't be like, oh, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that, or like...
we've done that a few times, like, when I'm at my sister's house. Because she's like, my sister's like, she's almost like white, bro. Like, I remember when I was young, she'd take me like to PacSun and buy me jeans and shit like that. Like,
PacSun.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, white people shit.
yeah, like, they be on some white people shit. But yeah, for the most part, we just be chilling and eating and drinking. I mean, You're supposed to have fun with it. Don't wait over there fucking glorifying Indians dying and shit like that. Like,
Yeah. So now that I have
we
a
can
kid,
all agree that that's fucked up. And
I'm like, do I teach my kid this? Like, is this a tradition that I want to pass down to my kid? You know, like, cause man, I'm not gonna lie, my grandma was in the kitchen busting her ass, and like the whole family was busting their ass trying to put this meal together. And then at the end, I was helping my grandma clean up, and I'm like, is it really worth it? Like all this? And then she was like she, you know, she's
but
in a different mentality.
Everything. That's with everything. That's like when, like, we doing quinceañeras and shit like that. Like,
True.
any kind of thing. You see everybody like so I don't like doing birthday parties. Like, they're stressful and shit. But at the end of the day, you give that like child or the little kids, like, you give them memories and shit.
True.
That's what it's about.
True. Yeah.
Like, the kids ain't thinking about you busting your ass in the kitchen.
Of course not.
They're just like, man, I was with my fucking cousins and we were smoking weed in the bag and it was fun. You know, like,
Yeah,
we ate
true.
some good food. Like, you take those memories.
Yeah,
you
because
know,
even
with
though we
you.
celebrated, I don't think it was ever introduced to us as if we're celebrating the death of Indians.
Right.
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't.
It's more
Because
of
if
like,
it would have been,
It's
we wouldn't be
Thanksgiving.
celebrating.
We're
it.
gonna get
Gathering.
together with the family
Yeah.
and be thankful for what we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's just have a good time, play loteria, and
Do what we
Right,
do.
right.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I get it. There's some people that do take it to the extreme, and you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
It's like last time you were talking about Halloween, you were talking shit. And it's like, dude.
I'm gonna talk shit about
like,
all the holidays.
Yeah, like, my kid ain't out there fucking sacrificing bunnies or anything.
No,
She's-
your kid is
then you
not.
look back and you see your kid.
What are you doing? Put that dog down.
Right?
Nah, dude, but she's just out there having fun with the costumes, and like, that's what they remember. That's what they know. That's what's going on, you know, in their head. Like,
Yeah.
and that's how I see it too. Like, cause growing up, we didn't do no Halloween and shit. But now it's all about shit. We decorate the house.
You didn't do no Halloween because
Cause like my mom was religious.
Oh,
and,
okay, okay.
Yeah, we didn't.
your mom was like, we're not doing that
yeah.
devil
I
shit.
just remember like one time doing Halloween and shit, like, and that was it. So now with my kids, it's like we go all out, and she gets a costume, and we do the trick or treating, and the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you're not a
All
fucking
that shit.
Satanist.
Yeah, I'm not out there.
Okay,
doing
my
shit
grandma,
like that.
my grandma, she's lived in the same house for like all my life, right? 26 plus years. So her next door neighbors, I remember them when I was a kid. Like, I would go play with their grandkids and shit. And I remember the guy, and I remember the lady. Her name was Mary, and his name was Tommy. Well, come to find out, fast 4 years later, his daughter is my mom's age, right? So she goes over there because they've already passed away, and the house is just like a crack house. Like, what the fuck is going on? So she sees the daughter, and she's all like strung out on drugs. And my mom, you know, she goes to talk to her, and she starts telling my mom all this stuff, that how her dad was a Satanist, and that he would like chase him around the house like at 3 a.m, like with a knife. They were our next door neighbors. They were white, but I remember him. Like, I remember him when he was already like getting old and dying. He would sit on the porch like in his underwear, and he was like, you could tell he was gone. And we'd be outside playing and shit, and I'd just be like, yes. So, yes, you are not a Satanist, and your family, you know, does Halloween with good intentions. But just be mindful that you do not know what your next door neighbor's fucking doing. Your next door neighbor could have somebody
What the fuck
underneath
that
their
gotta do with
basement.
me?
But I think that's like with everything though, because like even on a normal day, like if they're not all right in the head, like any day could be they're just doing shit that's not right. Like
True.
Yeah.
like with what you said with Halloween, like if you have bad intentions about something, like I mean that's
Yeah.
with anything. Like
And it don't
yes,
matter what day it is.
Right.
You're gonna have
Yeah.
bad
Like,
intentions.
well, that's my
Right,
point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like-
it's about your intention behind it, right?
right.
yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I'm not against you celebrating Halloween, bro. If that's what I actually loved Halloween. Like, that was one of my favorite.
Devil lover.
Yeah, you know, like, bro, I would literally, when I was in high school, I remember I would go and search up, like, what do Satanists do? Like, what kind of rituals do they do? Like, I
What are
want
we doing this
Yeah,
year?
like, you know, so I'm not biased to anything. It's just like,
You ever play with a Ouija board?
No, I would not
Nah?
do that. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
next episode, bring it.
The next
I'll wait
episode.
for y'all outside.
Right? It's gonna have to be a solo show, bro.
Well, Alex Jones up in here.
Yeah.
We'll communicate with you.
I
How
just
was your
think,
weekend?
like, okay, me as a
Yeah.
spiritual person, like, messing with a divination tool, you know, because a Ouija board, like a deck of cards, a pendulum, a pencil. Remember when they used to do that thing in school? Like, if it
Oh
was
my
a
God.
pencil, anything
Yeah.
can be used as like a wand, as like a divination tool to like speak to another entity or anything. Because we're like that powerful that we can do that, right? Like
I mean, so pretty much what you're saying is anything can be bad if you want it to.
the
right?
intentions
The
behind
intention,
it.
right.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's true. Yeah.
Intentions behind it.
We can like summon this cup right now and start floating in the air and doing some
Type
crazy
shit.
shit if we wanted to.
I think you have to be really tapped into your.
What did that research say? This research you did.
The CIA has confirmed like telekinesis and all that fucking weird shit, like the X-Men. Like
the X-Men.
the CNA.
X-Men. Wolverine is real.
The CIA has documents that people can like do this shit where they've experimented and like it's
fucking shit.
Yes.
Hey, have you ever noticed like brujeria and like brujas and fantasmas and all this shit is more popular in Mexico than it is here in the United States?
Yeah.
Like unless you live like up north, like in Connecticut and shit like that, you don't hear about witches and shit that much out here. But in Mexico, in every corner, somebody's grandma has a story about how they
saw a
bruja.
witch. Yeah.
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 So what's your explanation to that, J Bass?
Oh, no, I'm just wondering, like, why? Why is it so
I've thought about that.
big in Mexico, but
Is it that our people are a bit more ignorant?
I don't know, because they swear to God they see them flying in the middle of the
I
day and shit
know.
up
So
there.
you can't say that's ignorant if somebody's actually telling you what they experience.
But I'm saying like our community won't really look into like
Oh, you're talking about
science and
Americans
shit like that. No,
or
I'm talking
Mexicans?
about like the
What,
Hispanic
is there really
community.
a science behind the unexplainable, though?
There's not.
No, but I'm saying like in general, like
supernatural?
It always like especially like Mexicans, we always turn into like supernatural shit instead of like thinking about it like, whoa, this
What
could
caused
happen.
that noise?
Okay, so
You know what I'm
this
saying?
goes,
Like-
this goes back to my theory about the turkeys. America and the food in America, they literally have us like drugged, like that's why they put fluoride in the water. That's why our food is not sold in other countries. It's actually banned in other countries,
Right.
like Kraft mac and cheese. So we're consuming all this food. Like people have told you they go to other countries and they literally like come off of a high. Like they are thinking more clearly. They're losing weight, even though they're eating the same food. It's like, so obviously they're doing something to our food, right? Which makes us kind of like docile, dumbed down. We're not really spiritual. We just go and do everyday
So
shit.
you're saying that's why Mexicans believe in brujas?
Mexicans, on the other hand,
'Cause
their
they're
shit's
eating
more
different shit.
organic. You go over there and it's a little bit more organic because grandma has the chickens in the backyard. So she gets the eggs and that's what you're cooking. And she's feeding the chickens fucking tortillas or whatever she's feeding
I don't
them.
think it's just that, bro. I think it's also like lack of education. Like
But, okay, so parallel your lack of education to supernatural phenomena.
people always like ever since the beginning of time, people always try to explain shit like just by looking at the sky or like it's
So,
this
like,
magic entity and shit like that. Like
The Native Americans used to do all kinds of like rituals and
Exactly.
powwows. And then when the colonizers got there and they introduced their god, it's like, okay, they overcame them. So now these natives are Christians, which is our moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas. They're Christians. So, like, where's your theory in that?
the same. Like the Europeans were more educated.
Says who? They didn't even shower.
They had boats and shit, bro.
The Indians had to show them how to shower.
Right, I get that. I didn't say they had the
used
best
to fuck
hygiene. I
goats.
said who?
The Europeans.
Dude, Mexicans still out there fucking goats, bro, and some little ranchito and shit, bro. Motherfuckers always go fuck goats, bro. Like, people weird like that,
What do
dude.
you mean? Don't say Mexicans, because
Yeah.
what
Well,
Mexicans?
Right? What Mexicans
Dude, I
do you
mean,
know?
they
Nah, I've heard
literally
of
have
that.
like donkey shows in Tijuana and shit like that. Like, it's just like it's shit that it happens, dude. Like, you go up to even here in Texas, you go up to like Cleveland and shit like that, like. Or maybe by where you stay, J-Vaz. There's some redneck out there fucking
Doing some weird-
his animals
Okay,
and shit,
so
bro.
he said
like,
redneck. Ancestors are Europeans, not Mexicans.
oh, yeah, but I'm trying to say like people are still out there doing fucked up shit. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
People,
okay.
people still doing shit like that, bro.
But back to the theory about what J-Vaz was saying about how it's more supernatural phenomena in
brujas and
Mexico.
shit.
Yeah, with the brujas and shit. It could be maybe because they're still like, like the mountains and shit, or like, and then here's the city, so it's kind of more like there is no place for a bruja to hide, or like,
The Brujas in Midtown and
Yeah,
shit.
that bitch getting lit in Midtown.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I don't know. I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
What, you think brujas are real?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I think duendes are real. I think brujas are real. I think skinwalkers are real. I think all that
for
shit's
sure,
real.
there's some unexplainable shit out there.
I think mermaids are real.
Yeah.
You lost me on that one.
On the
No,
mermaids?
I lost you. They
You
even
ain't seen those documentaries?
I know they even
With the
came out with it
mermaids
on
and shit?
cable. Once they came out with it on cable, like
I didn't see them actually.
Yeah. I mean, the sea is fucking big, bro. Like, they gotta be something
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of
Something
unexplained
out there.
shit that we
Yeah.
haven't discovered.
we have
Like,
not
Like
seen.
deep in the ocean.
Yeah, there's all
I
kinds
don't even
of
think
creatures.
that deep. We gotta go that deep, you know? Because there's a certain part that it just gets dark, but it's still not that deep.
And not
It's
just the
like-
ocean, but what makes us think. Okay, so when we go to school, we know that the Earth is what the Earth is because that's what they tell us in school, right?
Christopher Columbus.
But who are we to know that there's not other? How do we know that's it? How do we know there's? How do we not know that the Earth is bigger than what they tell us?
Are you a flat earther?
No, I'm not. But how do we know that's? Because it's kind of like they tell
I mean,
you.
we don't. We just go off of what they.
Oh, what they tell us. How do we
Yeah.
know there's parts
What
that
they tell
Right.
us.
like they won't tell us because there's fucked up shit and they're probably there doing their investigation.
Yeah, and we
Rightfully
won't
so,
know
because
unless we're
Area
like astronauts
51.
and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
What happened to the people that were gonna storm Area 51?
He was
We
here
talked
last
to-
week.
Yeah, he was here last week. Yeah, he said they didn't end up going.
Yeah, he said they canceled.
they ended up
Cancel
going to
last
La
minute.
Quinceañera de Rubí and
Yeah,
stuff.
they had to go. Yeah.
Bro.
That's crazy, dude. That's crazy.
No, but now, I don't know if it's because like Corona, but 2021, 2020 has actually brought a lot of shit to light. Like the CIA has released so many documents. Like it's on the CIA page when like PDF, the forms, you can go and read through them. It's like thousands of pages. But you read through it and they're literally telling you that's why they disclose about aliens, that aliens are real. That's why I read that shit about the telekinesis, about people actually the experiments have that they've done, people have actually gone through walls. That's what the document said. I still can't wrap my head around
I
that.
mean, I believe you do because there's so much shit out there that they keep from us. And then like what I said last week about the Eisenhower, the president, how like they talking about he met with aliens and shit, and how supposedly his wife was one.
I was gonna
some crazy
say,
shit, dude.
I was
like,
gonna say aliens are amongst us. Like you don't think an advanced
I'm a resident
alien.
alien.
I know for sure I'm some kind of like alien.
how do you feel about that?
What?
Being an alien?
They call people aliens like if they're not from here. Like
I mean, I don't think
that
about it
offensive?
that hard.
It doesn't really
it's like whatever.
alien.
I know my people come from Mars, so there's no point in arguing about it.
Resident alien.
Bro, what about like people that say Latin X? Y'all heard that shit?
Oh, that's fucking stupid.
Latin
Is it?
X.
Okay, I think it's
Are you
because
Latinx?
I'm Latinx. It's because no, I think Latinx isn't that like for like the gay people? Like you're
It's
not.
to not offend anybody.
Yeah, you're
I
not
think
like
it's
Latina.
basically- Yeah, I think it's basically extension of LGBTQ.
Yeah.
But they don't want to be considered that.
Right.
But it's so stupid because they're making the argument. Again, I get it. If you're a grown ass woman and you want to be a he, that's cool. Do whatever makes you happy.
Right.
But whenever a little boy is 5, it says El Niño, they're like, why is it being called El Niño? Why can't we just call everybody Niño? Well, no, because Niño is a guy, Niña is a girl.
Yeah.
So, no, we can't just call in plural Niños. And then they're like, well, why is it always Niños? Why can't it be Niñas? Because Niñas is females. Let the kids
Dude.
choose what the hell they want to be when they grow
I
up.
bet you the
yeah, like don't force it
the
upon
LGBT
the smaller
community
people.
And that's why I think Latinx is so dumb. Because it's like, bro.
It's in our language, like it's in the
It's
Spanish
like Gen
language. like-
Zers, right? Gen Zers that came
And
up with that.
it's all these the new generations that they want everything their way. And it's like,
Yeah.
I get it. If you want to be a he or she, whatever, hey, I'll power to you. Do whatever makes you happy. But don't get offended if I call you a he when you clearly look
Yeah.
like a he
Yeah.
and you want to
Okay.
be a she.
Yo, vato Holmes.
But I mean, these are the same kids that were eating like Tide Pods and like doing what else? Licking toilet seats when COVID came out. Like they do weird shit. And not to get all biblical, but in the Bible it talks about the last generation. That's why
metaverse.
they're called Generation Z.
The
Because they're the
metaverse.
last.
The metaverse.
The metaverse. You're
It's
right.
the end. Damn, could we really be living
In the end times, I
end
believe
times.
it. Look at the outside, like look at all the signs and shit. Look at all the weird shit that's
Yeah,
going
they
on.
have the prostitution signs out there now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at all the
they got that
signs.
one too.
They're trying to ban
I
prostitution.
don't know. I think ever since I was 6, I hear people talk about it. The end is near.
Yeah.
End is
I've
near.
always
God is
said that.
coming.
Yeah, it's always
is
ending.
near.
End is
It's always
near.
ending.
Well,
Fuck, I'm 32 and we still out here kicking.
well, the
32.
consider.
Cálmate, güey, I'm 34.
I know, because that's not even that old. If you were to be like, well, I'm 60 or I'm like 80, well, then yeah, because that's like a whole generation.
I think it's just a mindset. Cause even I remember my dad used to tell us, they're like, he's like, la gente está loca, la gente que sabe. He's like, ni que fueran Dios. Because he's like, I remember back in my day, he says that, you know, he grew up in a rancho, right? He's like, and we would see airplanes. He's like, éramos ignorantes, no sabíamos
what that
what
was.
it was. He's like, y salían las gentes viejas. Ah, la madre. No, ya se va a acabar el mundo. Cosas peores se van a ver. And it was like, it was actually just technology and everything else was evolving. But to them, it was kind of like, wow,
Their-
the end is near.
Well,
because
their
look-
world was ending.
Okay, well then
right?
that kind
And
of
then
goes.
the world was
and to
beginning.
that, my dad would say, el mundo se acaba para el que se muere.
Yeah.
That kind of goes back to we're talking about the witches and the demons and shit.
How as far as
Yeah, because we don't have the resources that we have here. Like
So if they see a fucking drone flying, they probably think it's a
it's
witch.
una bruja.
Oh,
yeah,
it's a
you know what I'm
duende or
saying?
some
Yeah,
shit.
like
Okay, but what about the like the real deal? I wish I could. I'm gonna tell my friend. He's like a fucking witch hunter to come on the fucking podcast and tell us about his experiences.
Sure.
This nigga has live footage of a witch coming at 3:00 in the morning. It's a lady. She's
On his
a
phone.
lady. On his like home security footage. So he fucking has this. Shout out to Noe 915. This nigga.
That's his Instagram?
That's his Instagram. And he has TikTok. This nigga went viral on TikTok showing his fucking experiences and stuff. Okay, so he has actual live footage of like the ladies coming, walking, right? She's just walking at 3:00 in the morning in his neighborhood. She comes up to his fucking
Crackhead?
Jeep. She looks like a crackhead, but
Could be.
she's... That's what I said. I was like, man, what if that was a crackhead?
Okay, what'd she do? She fly?
No, she fucking came in his fucking Jeep, right? And she just gets in that hole. Like, she just... And I'm like, bitch, you left your shit unlocked. And he's like, I swear I didn't. Like, I fucking didn't. So she gets in there, right?
Okay.
She's in there for 7 minutes. And then on the footage, you see a little fucking cat. I'm fucking not even bullshitting. It's a cat. And the cat comes and the cat's just like there. And then so she's in the car for 7 minutes doing her thing. And then she gets out and she leaves. And she fucking walks off, right? And then I think she comes back on a bike. Or no, when she first came, she had a bike or some shit. So it was just weird. So this nigga, obviously, he didn't know. He wakes up the next day. He gets in his little Jeep and he leaves. His dog shitted or did something in his car. So he's like, I'm going to go get it clean.
It was probably that lady.
So, no, he said literally his dog.
The 7 minutes she did her thing. She was doing shit.
So he went. Long story short, this nigga found bones underneath his carpet. Like, underneath his carpet. And I'm like,
okay.
bro, like, and he's like, I shit you not. Like, where the fuck did the bones come from?
She
like,
was eating some wings. She ate, she shit,
but
she
why
left.
in his car?
Because she's a crackhead.
Bro.
People are weird like that,
Bro.
bro. I've seen crackheads do fucked up shit,
Nah, bro.
Like,
Nah. Why out of
So-
all the houses, out of all the cars, like...
This could be an explanation to what he's saying. I was probably like 8 or 9.
it was
We
J
were,
Bass.
we were at my, we were at my, with
I got
my
drunk that
uncles
day.
in a ranch in Arkansas, and we were all just chilling inside the house, you know, minding our business. Then one of my cousins looks out the window, and as he was looking out the window, he flipped out because he was like, "You're not gonna believe me." And then they were like, you know, my dad and my uncle were like, "What happened?" He's like, "There's a lady outside the window with red eyes." So typical, you know, manly Mexican. Dame la pistola. They get their guns, they go outside, and they start chasing this lady. It wasn't just my cousin that saw her. It was my cousin, my brothers, my 2 brothers, my uncle, my dad, and my younger cousin. Chasing after this lady around the ranch. Couldn't find her. Whatever.
Bruja.
Fast forward a couple days later, happens again. This time they chase her, and they see her. She ran across the street. So they're like, so what's the deal with this lady, right? So then my uncle started talking to the neighbors and whatnot. Turns out it was the crackhead neighbor that she would get high as fuck, and she would be peeping through people's windows.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So that could be an explanation. It could have been a crackhead taking a shit, eating wings.
Okay. My mom has this
We're
story.
going to get him on the pod.
My mom has a story of like when she lived in Mexico that there was this lady that they did brujeria on her. and like this lady that wanted her man or whatever. So she did brujeria on her. The bitch became crazy, and her dude left with this other lady. And they would say something about like the lady became a turkey, bro. She turned into a turkey. I don't know the whole story, but my mom swears up and down that lady turned into a turkey, dude. Mm-hmm. And like my mom, she ain't like into that like brujeria shit. Like she used to go to church and shit like that. Like,
cause that shit is real. Like magic and all that shit is real. Like, why do you think so many people?
how that bitch turned into a turkey, dog? That shit.
That's like, it's like when you see those movies about witches and they be turning them into shit.
Bitch turned into a turkey, bro.
Nah, you know how they used to say like, oh, if you see an owl, that's a witch. Okay, so back in the day, my grandma's mom.
So Drake es un witch.
Es un pinche brujo, güey. Él es un pinche brujo. That's why he's always throwing up the 6. Anyways, we'll get into that later. Okay, so my grandma said that her mom.
This episode would have been October.
I know,
Halloween
October
episode.
theme, right?
Yeah.
We're all fucking Thanksgiving out with the brujas. Okay, so long story short, they say if you see an owl, it's a witch, right? So they'll catch the owl. My great grandma used to catch the owls, and she would burn them hoes alive.
What the fuck, bro?
Yes.
Your grandma did that?
My great grandma,
I'm
or
gonna
like
have
my
to call
great
Peter
grandma.
on her, bro.
No. Okay, so she would catch the owls, right? And she'd be like, "It's a witch, it's a witch." And then so they would burn the owl, and when the owl would burn, it would do a face. It would do like a face of whoever it was. So it was like a witch. A witch can fucking turn into whatever, and then once they catch it in that state, like that's it. Like she dies like that, right? I guess that was the.
So you think-
I've heard a lot of those stories.
That was the
they
point
would
of it.
capture like Chusa or whatever.
Yes, the owls.
And they would like put her in a cage. Then the next day it'll be like a female in the cage. Or whatever.
Yes. Because after a certain time, they have to turn back to themselves. But yeah, they would say that they will burn them hoes alive.
So should we burn every owl that we see?
No, I don't think that's true. Like, I don't know.
Isn't that also considered bad luck?
Yeah, they when we see them, my grandma's always like, "No, that means somebody's gonna die." She's like, "No, shoo it away." One time, a baby owl literally fell in my grandma's yard, and like they put it in a box and shit.
Owls are
and
beautiful though.
They are. It was a really cute little owl. Like, well, my cousin said that it spread its
little
wings.
bruja.
Yeah, and the fucking wings were fucking super long. Like, it was a little tiny owl, but the fucking wings were huge. And she said that he had fell and broke his wings, so he couldn't fly. And my grandma was all paranoid about it. She's like, "No, y'all gotta get rid of that. Like, get it out of here. And my little niece was like, "Look, an owl." And my cousin, like, she was like, whatever, you know. Like, but my grandma was like, get it out of here. Like, that's bad luck. Like, that means somebody's gonna die. No. Like,
Hey, you know,
yeah, in Spanish. Not in English, in Spanish.
You know what's crazy? About 3 years ago, we were at the house chilling, and then my dad goes in there. And he's like, "Mira, vengan." So we would go outside, my mom and I. You know palomas are?
Doves.
Yeah. So first, those are kind of like rare to see just flying around houses. Second, they're very, you can't get close to them because you get
Yeah.
close to them, they fly. So my dad goes out there and then he's like, "Mira esa paloma blanca." And he got close to it and started talking to it. And the paloma came to him, started like eating around him. And my dad's like, "Sabrá Dios que me queda decir," or whatever, right? And then like 2 days later, they call him, my tia passed away. So he was connecting that it was kind of like
A warning, right? Like
a warning, or el espíritu de su hermana hablando. You know, he was very into that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So he would be like, "Me vino la paloma a avisarme que se iba a morir mi hermana," or whatever. Because
Wow.
palomas are very, I mean, just any bird.
I've
You get
never
close to
seen
them,
one.
They fly.
Yeah.
They don't stick around to be talked to and whatnot. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I've never
That's-
seen a paloma.
some weird
Never.
shit.
That was certainly a message. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm
An
saying,
interstellar
bro.
message.
I feel like. Hey, shut the fuck up. I feel like you're bullshitting over there.
Who?
You.
Why?
Yeah, it's a message.
Yeah.
It's a message.
I feel like there's a
No.
joke behind this, but he don't want to.
No, nah, dude. I mean, that's for real. Like, I've had shit like that, bro, where like unexplainable shit. It's like, you know, one of my friends passed away, and shortly after that, like, we were doing a baby shower for my wife, and which I think you were there, and we're cleaning up already, dude, and we let some. I was drunk, right? A little drunk, not too drunk, but we're cutting like the balloons off and shit. And then I'm just bullshitting. I'm like, man, I'm gonna send a balloon to my nigga Eddie. And like, I let the balloon go. And I just said that just bullshitting, bro. And we're all there joking around. And then I see a shooting star. Like, as soon as I let the balloon go, I see a shooting star.
Nah, way. It's because you were drunk, way.
Dude,
you were
but
seeing
okay.
things, way.
No, but check it out.
Right?
Don Vito,
Right?
no. Don Vito was right there. And I'm like, I was like shook. And I'm like, and I turn around and like everybody just smiling and shit, like nobody saw it. And then I look at Don Vito, and Don Vito was like, he just nodded his head like, I seen that shit, bro. And then after that, bro, it was like, fuck. Like I take those things as messages. You know, they're just.
Every time y'all mention this Don Vito guy, I imagine the guy from Bam Margera.
Don Vito.
Nah, it's not. I mean, that's kind of
Kind
how
of.
he got his that
Oh,
name.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we would watch like Viva La Bam and shit like that, and I'll fuck with him like, shut the fuck up, Don Vito, and he'll get mad and shit, and I'll be like, nah, I ain't talking. We ain't talking about that Don Vito. We talking about the Godfather Don Vito and shit, and it just stuck, and that's what we call him.
We had a house in Mexico since we was talking about ghosts and shit, and we hardly ever lived there. We lived there for a little bit, then we moved to McAllen, and the house was just there. My dad would go over there every now and then in Tamaulipas, and there was he would have his compadres and shit, and these are like not really compadres, but that's kind of like Mexicans. Everybody's a primo and shit. And these are all like manly bad motherfuckers. Yeah, like they're not really scared of shit type of niggas. And one day, my dad says that he was, they were outside barbecuing or whatever, and then one of the guys, he comes like, "Hombre, ya ni la friega, compadre." And he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "¿Cómo se le ocurre tener mujeres aquí? La comadre ni cuenta." He's like, yo no tengo mujeres aquí. And then he's like, "¿Cómo que no tiene mujer aquí?" He's like, "No, pues la casa es de mi vieja." He's like, aquí vienen de repente, like, what are you talking about? So then he's like, "¿Y la señora que tiene la foto ahí?" And my dad's like, "Esa es mi mamá." And then the guy was like, "No juegue, compadre." And then he was like, "¿Cómo que no juegue?" He's like, "La señora andaba en la cocina, compadre." And then he got like very like scared.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, "¿Cómo que andaba en la cocina?" He's like, "La acabo de mirar en la cocina y la miré en la foto." He's like, he got very like his voice changed, and my dad was like, "What the fuck?" But in that house was fucked up. Like it was always for the longest I was terrified of dogs. And the story behind of why I hated dogs, no matter the size, I just cannot stand dogs. Couldn't stand dogs. And so when I was a kid, I was inside the house and I started crying, screaming. They go in there and they seen a dog. Like there was a black dog inside the house. And the dog, as soon as they opened the door, the dog came out. And that house, first of all, how the hell did he get inside the house? Nobody knows. They chased this dog and lost him. And then the whole thing was fenced. There was no way for the dogs to just...
Right.
Yeah. So they're like, that dog, we don't know what the hell it was, but somehow he got inside the house, scared you, and then just kind of disappeared. We couldn't... There was a lot of stories in that fucked up house.
There's
A
definitely
black dog in I don't want to say Christianity because I don't think Christians really tap into like that part of the spirituality, right? But my type of Christians, they do, and a black dog is a demon, especially if it just came out of nowhere.
Dog
it's a demon. Like when you dream about black dogs and they're chasing you, or like bulls, or like.
Okay, so there's all these things that are unexplained, like shit that happen with your people.
There's an explanation. It's just, do you want to
it's-
believe that explanation or not?
Okay, and what's your explanation?
Supernatural, demons, witches.
Okay, but
But that means if you accept one part, like demons or the devil,
So you
then you have to accept all parts,
Okay.
like mermaids, aliens, and people don't want to do that. People have seen a demon, or people have seen messages, but okay, to not even open that kind of worms,
throwing
we're
shit
just
at
okay,
gonna.
so we just
I said I don't believe in mermaids.
if we
You don't want to accept it.
if we
You
see
don't.
like we see a ghost or whatever, of somebody we knew, that's automatically some demon shit or what?
Yeah, because somebody that we knew is not gonna be here once they've already gone. Like if they're physically not here, they're not gonna be here. Like it can be an entity trying to portray that person so that you can give it trust and like allow it.
Angel.
A guardian angel is not gonna show itself like a ghost. A guardian angel is gonna send you messages, or like you're gonna know, like, oh shit, I almost fucking wrecked, but somebody's looking out for me.
Okay, so
or,
how you
that's
explain
a
like
guardian
the
angel.
dove?
That's, I think, a guardian angel.
I said this before. My parents had Walter Mercado. We have Ashley. So
Exactly.
no. Throughout my dad's life, and the creepy thing, well, not creepy, but the crazy thing is, if it was my dad just seeing this, then it'll be kind of like it's in your head.
Right.
But my
y'all all
mom, being
saw
the
it.
person that
Right.
just doesn't believe in ghosts, if you tell her, oyó eso, oh, se ha de haber caído esto, or miró eso, oh, es que se atravesó. Like, she always finds an explanation to
Yeah.
why it's not a ghost.
Yeah.
Right?
That's kind of how I am.
And,
Yeah.
and my dad would tell us that, for example, in Monterrey, they would do a lot of traveling from Monterrey to Coahuila and all this other shit. And he's like, estamos en una central bus station. I was going to say it all Mexican. Central camionera. And then he's like, I just felt very uneasy. And he was saying this in Spanish, but I think, I don't know how many Spanish listeners you got, so I'm just going to say it in English. And he was like, I was feeling very uneasy. He's like, and then I told your mom, he's like, hey, señora, me está mirando. And my mom was like, ¿cuál señora? He's like, pa' acá, pa' lado derecho, me está una señora, me está mirando. And they look, and they saw this lady. And then my dad's like, I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, whatever, let her keep looking. Fast forward, nothing happened, just saw her. And he's like, años después, in Coahuila, they were at the store, shopping, whatever. They saw the lady again. He's like, y lo curioso es de que she would just, like, stare at them. Like, walking and staring at them. And he's like, le volví a decir a tu mamá. So, I'm not going to make this any more longer, but 6 or 7 times they ran into this lady. In different parts. The most recent time was in Hempstead at Walmart. He said they were at Walmart, and again, my mom would be like, "Sí, like la miramos," que we were.
But they don't know her.
They don't know her. They
They're
know
just
this
always
lady.
the same lady.
It's the same lady. So he would always say, he's like, because he didn't get to know his mom. He's like, no sé si sea mi ángel de la guardia or why I'm seeing this lady in different
So
parts
he
of the
took
world.
it as a positive thing.
Even though he felt negative.
That, or he was like, "O me anda buscando la muerte." That was another thing that he would always say.
Huh.
He's like, but he never felt any
Dude.
he never felt any negative energy off of it. He just thought it was weird.
There's such
Yeah.
things called the Watchers. It's like this dimension of, I don't know if they're guardian angels or like demonic entities, but the Watchers, they just watch you.
Okay.
I've
so
had that happen to me before.
Have y'all ever, like, throughout y'all's years of being on this earth, y'all ever, like, pretty much what happened to your parents? Where, like, y'all see this person throughout your life, and you're like, I know that person. And then you run into them again, and you never fucking know their name. You never, like, do you have something like that?
I have different stories. I'm gonna give you one of the weirdest one. We were when we met each other. We used to work at this store called Brooks Brothers in Hempstead. It was my second job. My second job, third job, but one I worked for one day. But anyways, it's besides the point. I was working there, and I'm just minding my business, and out of nowhere, I feel somebody tap me from behind, like, on my back, and I was like, what the fuck? Old lady, ay, mi hijo, Hispanic lady, como me da gusto mirarte, and she hugged me. She's like, siempre vengo y nunca te miro. I had been there I worked there for 5 years. So I knew everybody that shopped there pretty much. This is a small town, so you know your customers.
Familiar faces.
And she's like, tengo mucho que no te miraba. Siempre vengo y te busco. And I was like, who the fuck is this lady? Mm-hmm. And then when, she hugged me, she grabbed my hand, she kissed my hand. She's like, te vuelvo a mirar después, Jose. Walked away. So the first thing that came to my head was, okay, so apparently some guy, she probably confused me for somebody named Jose. So I go to the meat market guy who had been there since the store opened, Mike Hensel. And I asked him, I said, have you ever had anybody in the produce work named Jose? He's like, no. He's like, we've never had any Hispanics work out here. That's why I used to call you. He used to call me all the, like, he'll get on the intercom, be like, Hector, Julio, Jose. He would call me all these names. He's like, you're the only Mexican we have working out here as far as, that area went or whatever. And yeah, so this lady looked familiar, but I have no idea who she is. And apparently she knew who I was, but not really. She called me Jose. And never seen her again.
What about you, Ash?
I was
She
there for
probably
5
had
years.
dementia.
Probably.
I mean, because I was there for 5 years, never saw her again.
That sounds like, I don't know if you've been to Whiskey River, like the ladies in there that give you the soap and stuff. Anytime I go in there, I don't know who this lady is, but she's like, ay, mija, tanto tiempo sin verte. And I'm like, yeah, I come to Whiskey like every week at that time. And I was like, Yeah, I don't know you. But she would always say that every time that I went in there.
Every week she'd be like,
Tanto tiempo sin verte, like, I'm here every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I would run into like just would be at a I don't know at the grocery store, and then I'd run into this person. We wouldn't make eye contact or nothing, but I'm like this person, like I've seen this person before. And months later, we're at a fucking store, and it's like that same person. And I'm like, is this person following me? And I start getting those ideas and shit. And then years go by, and it's like, I'm like, fuck. And I'm with my wife, and I'm like, dude, you see that person right there? That's the same dude that was at the fucking whatever the fuck. And I haven't seen this person in a while, but it's crazy how you was talking about that situation with your parents, and that kind of like reminded me of that shit. And how it's like, I don't know, the Watchers or whatever the fuck you were talking about.
There's the Watchers, and then I seen because that's actually never happened to me. I think because I'm bad with faces, but and then I see a lot of places in the neighborhood. Like I've worked in like different, like I work at the high school in the hood. I've worked at a car lot in the hood, so I see a lot of people's parents, cousins. I see a lot of faces, so I'm not familiar with that situation. But I just seen a video on TikTok where the lady, whoever it was, she was explaining that had happened to her. And she said literally like her family took a trip to fucking like Norway, and she seen her fucking like neighbor there or something. And then like, so I started looking through the comments, and the comments were saying the same shit, that people would like see these random ass people in like these random ass places, and they'd be like, what the fuck? Like, that's so awkward. Like, how am I going to see my neighbor in Oklahoma? Or like, you know, like
what are the chances your neighbor's where you're at?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What if you know what doppelgangers are?
That's what they were talking about. They were talking about doppelgangers, and they were talking about glitches in the Matrix.
It's a They say that there's like at least one other person on Earth that looks exactly like you.
Yeah, so that's your doppelganger. But they said that if you see your doppelganger, that means like death, right? Like you're about to die. It's a bad thing to
Spider-Man.
It's a bad thing to see your doppelganger.
Another quick story. My dad had a lot of these. That's why I have so many stories about my dad. And about 2 years ago, they went to Coahuila, and my dad hadn't been in Coahuila like in 10 years. So, he didn't know what the fuck was going on in Coahuila. But he goes over there. He was with my mom and my sister. And he's like, we got to, from Monterrey, we got to Coahuila. He's like, and as soon as I got off, he's like, I ran into an old friend. I talked to him for about 20 minutes. Your mom and your sister were standing there waiting for me. Talked to him, went about my business. He's like, we get to San Buena, which is where my sister lives, which is about an hour away from where they're at. 2 days later, they go to the store shop, and they're going to go buy candy so they can bring back over here or whatever. He's like, and then I ran into this guy's brother. ¿Cómo has estado, Juan? He's like, oh, bien, hola. He's like, sí, pues ayer, hace 2 días miré a tu hermano. And the guy looked at him. He's like, ¿a quién? He told him, so-and-so. ¿Dónde lo miraste? He's like, ahí lo miré en Monterrey, whatever the fuck. Chingues, Juan, mi hermana tiene como 5 años que se murió. So explain that.
Yeah, I've heard stories like that too.
And then my mom was like, he's like, le tuve que decir, vieja, ven para acá. He's like, ¿con quién estuve ayer? ¿O con quién hace 2 días? Like, she told him, he was like, mi hermana tiene 2-3 años que se murió.
That's wild, dude. It's the unexplainable.
Like
it is what it is. Like, you can't explain it. You can't explain it, dude. It's just one of those things that we live in on Earth.
What if it was timelines? What if your dad and your mom were on another timeline where he was still alive, but then they crossed and shifted to this timeline and met up with him, and he was like, nah, he's been dead for like 5 years. Timelines. Supposedly?
I don't know how timelines work, but that would be a fucking trip.
Yeah, because there's all these different timelines going at the same time.
In the Matrix?
Yeah, so like a glitch, like the timelines cross some kind of way, Or I think in regions, like different regions, that's why I think Mexico maybe has a lot of supernatural shit, because maybe they're on a fucking different timeline than fucking United States, Or
No, nigga.
or
Another timeline, bro.
okay, because there's a theory.
Hey, they changed times in different months. Keep
But
that in mind.
but all these
Daylight savings
timelines.
times. What the fuck
No,
is that?
I feel like-
what the fuck is that? Who fucking turned the lights off and made it dark? Like, explain
What are
that
they
shit.
hiding from us?
Because you know Hawaii, they don't do daylight savings time.
No, a lot of places don't. I think Arizona doesn't either. Yeah.
You see? So it's like, what the fuck is that?
But it's to just keep us busy during the day, isn't it? Isn't that what it is?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't gone down that rabbit hole.
But okay, that timeline shit, and that goes into like the Mandela effect and all that
Yes.
shit.
Okay, so there's a theory that states that, you know how the Mayans said, like, in 2012 we were gonna die. I mean, the world was gonna end. Well, supposedly
It did end on another timeline.
it did end, and that we're not in 2021, that we're actually in 2012. And some people, when they say, like, I remember the Mandela effect of this and that, they're on that timeline, and then we're on another timeline. That's why
Okay.
some people remember it like this and some people remember it like
Do
that.
y'all remember? Okay, I don't know. Do y'all remember a movie called Shazam?
Yes, but
You remember
it's
that shit?
Kazam.
Is that what it is?
It's Kazam or
With
Shazam.
Sinbad?
In one timeline, it's Sinbad and Shazam.
Because bro, I could have swore that movie was real.
I coulda swore, too.
And then not
I
too
seen
long
it.
ago, I was reading this shit that's talking about that shit didn't happen.
It was Kazam.
With
And it was with somebody, with another actor.
With Shaq,
It was
I
with
think.
Shaq. But I swear I remember
Sinbad.
watching Sinbad as a fucking genie, bro.
I recall that.
And apparently it's bullshit. Like that was never a thing.
So that's what
like-
I mean about timelines and timeline shifting.
I mean, you know how you sleep when you wake up. Sometimes, like, you think you remember the dream at that moment, but then it escapes you. Like if you try
Right.
to tell it later. So apparently, like most of the every single memory that we have is not even accurate. Like as good as you think you remember it, like that's
Somebody
not
else remembers
how
it
happened.
differently. Yeah.
You remember what you think, like.
Your
happened from
perception,
right?
yeah.
But even your own perception of what you saw through your own eyes
Is
is
distorted.
Not accurate.
Yes.
Wow.
That's why I be feeling like I'm fucking crazy, bro, because I don't know what is real, or like I do, right? But sometimes I just feel like, do I remember it correctly? And then I was just like, you know what? Let me just delete that memory because I don't know if that's how it happened. And then another person is like, that's not how it happened because they remember it differently. And I'm like to me, that's just like, okay, so what is real? What is real and what is not real? According to my perspective, this went like this, but according to your perspective, so like we all live in our own little universes, basically.
It's like when somebody's like lying to your face. They're like, "Remember, yeah, we went to this place," and we're like, "Man, you fucking lying, bro. Like that didn't happen and shit."
But in their mind, they think that it
they
happened
convince
like that.
themselves that.
And narcissists are like that. Like if there's a narcissist, they think that. They think that that's what happened. And it's dead ass, like the sky is purple and nobody can tell them different. Like, so how do you coexist in a world where people are on one timeline and you're on another timeline? I see that every day, like with the people with the COVID shit and everything. And like everything is just every day I just get more and more separated on a different timeline. And I don't know where the fuck I'm going, but I'm just like, it's not with
going?
these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, right? You see yourself getting put in opportunities and places and jobs that you're going to where like-minded people are. And then, like, the ones that are not like-minded are, like, falling away.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Have you heard that we only use like a small percentage of our brains or whatever? So
I
I
think
think
it's like 5%, right?
I don't know, 5 or
That
10,
movie, Lucy.
10%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucy.
And like, well, not saying that, the way it sounds like you have gotten to a point where you use maybe a little more, and that's why you're on a quote unquote different timeline. You're headed this way when all these people are still using this, 5%
10%.
or 10%.
Probably
of their
even less
brains.
because of the fucking food and fluoride, right?
I guess the more you're in a routine, the more you're
Can't
not
get out of it.
You're just using what you
You're
got.
in the
You
machine.
know what I'm saying? Yeah, in the machine. You're part of the machine.
You're in the machine.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Deep. That's deep. Shit, you want to play these videos?
Play them. I'm going
See what we got.
too deep down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
My brain's about
Save it
to...
for next episode. We'll go into another timeline next episode.
Bro, I'm going to bring the fucking
You ever
brujo.
seen that movie, Interstellar?
I seen it, but at that
With
time,
Matthew McConaughey?
I didn't understand it. It was totally like... At that time, I was working on like 2% of my brain. I was like so in the matrix.
That gave me like that helped me. You know how we're talking about the supernatural shit. We can't explain it, and then the way they explain supernatural shit, it's like they go into another dimension, bro. Like, cause he's traveling in space and shit, and then he's able to go into the timeline with his daughter as a child. I never thought about it that way. But it could be that when we get messages like that and shit, that's like
It's your future self trying to stop you.
Send you a message or tell you something, but there's no way of like coming into this dimension. So they try to, I don't know,
push the timeline.
Right.
Yeah. So
and like the book falls off. Like he's banging on the fucking thing and shit, and the book falls. And that's him in a whole nother dimension trying to convince his daughter to not let him go into this trip in space.
I remember that scene.
And that's why I brought this jacket, because
it's pretty dope. I like it.
To space.
I like it. We pretty much are.
Yeah, but all right, let's switch it up a bit.
I seen this one. I seen this one.
Why she hit that man, bro? Why she hit him, bro? What the fuck? He just trying to buy his Doritos, bro.
Bro.
That was Ashley last weekend, boy. They didn't want to sell her acid.
Like, what was that?
That was bad aiming on purpose. You thrown at him.
I think that was bad aiming, bro. I think she's drunk.
Curveball like a bug.
And then that guy was like, ow.
Poor guy. What would you do, Ashley? You just there standing there. Just standing there with your Red Bull. You're just trying to pay, bro. And they throw a Gatorade at your ass, dude.
He's a guy, but me personally, I would have walked out the store and been like, bitch, you better come back inside and aim again.
Maybe this right.
That's funny, yeah. Oh, no, he was taking a shot. Okay, hold on. There it goes. How did it catch on fire, bro? Verga, 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 verga. Alright, well, he was having fun.
Gen Zers. That's the Gen Zers.
Eating those Tide Pods, boy. How did it flame up, though? Somebody smoking a cigarette or something?
Is sweat flammable?
It might have been like his cologne or something, right?
Oh, yeah. But that's a good question, though. If you ever, like, really fucked up and you're sweating, is that shit flammable?
Oh, yeah.
Are you sweating alcohol?
Tell your cousin to try it. What's his name? The one that got fucked up?
Who? Oh, Gio.
He brought his cousin's video. Stamping his ass, half-ass naked.
Oh, yeah. You got to watch the episode with Patrick Eady.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, my cousin was acting a fool, and he's stamping his ass, and yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That is so bad.
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
Say it again. Say it again.
I think it's gonna.
That was so bad.
How?
Oh, no. I would have tased his ass.
The cops are still trying to go after him.
With his ass all out.
I would have fucking tased his ass cheeks.
Catch me.
Oh, my God.
He had to be a crackhead, right? That's some crackhead shit.
Es una bruja, güey. Es una bruja.
Es un pinche demonio, güey.
Right, because it looks like he just did that shit like on command. Like, okay, let's go. I need to throw some shit at this car.
Pikachu shit now. I choose you.
Unless he just already had to go, like.
Oh, man.
That was bad. You couldn't pay me enough to be a fucking cop.
Boom.
He was trained. He's done this before, though. He's done this before.
He said turd
I would
just
have been pissed. I would have fucking tased his ass so bad.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at this. Can you do that, Ashley? Dog. That's a strong girl. That's a big ass pig, bro.
That's a huge ass pig.
Shit. It's me carrying out my brother after Thanksgiving.
That's my gym motivation right there.
Up a mountain, bro. Yeah, I just thought that shit was pretty cool. This
Pretty fucking impressive.
this little Asian chick picking up a whole pig. Yeah. Smoking a hookah.
She's gonna fart. Knew it. Ew! That's fucking sick. That's so fucking sick, bro.
Do it for the vine.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah, that's necessary.
Bro, who smokes hookah at home?
For real. I guess he deserved it. Ew!
That's that gas, boy.
That's not cool.
A long time ago, we used to smoke hookah at the house.
Really?
We had one.
But y'all was
Little
being
mini
social, right?
Yeah.
Y'all weren't just sitting on y'all's fucking phone smoking hookah. Ashley on Friday nights.
Yep.
That little boozy?
I wonder if she's gonna tase herself.
She got some fetish right here.
Don't tell me.
What?
Oh my god!
Dog, what the?
That's a party.
That was so bad.
These videos, why are you refining these videos?
Like I could have gone my whole life without seeing that shit.
You just gotta follow the right accounts on TikTok. But she knows what she's doing. I'm
Oh, she knows
sure.
what she's
I'm sure
doing.
she's done this plenty of times, dog. Like it's her routine. She gets a cup of Jack Daniels.
I want to know what timeline that is to never ever fucking go there ever.
Oh man.
That shit made me feel so cringy inside.
Why?
The fart one too. The girl with the hookah. That
Why
made
did
me feel so
make
like.
you feel creepy?
Cause like people are so weird
You send
and
me these
sick.
videos. I start going through my pictures. Why are you sending
Oh
me
yeah.
these videos?
If it's a fucked up video, I send it to him, and it's for the show.
Ah. It's for the show.
It's for the show. So we have something to talk about.
Bruh.
Yeah.
No words though. There's no words.
There's no word for that. I guess. Do you?
It's just people we share this planet with, you know.
Like why? Like why?
there has to be people.
Sometimes-
We're on a different timeline.
Yeah, this has to happen for our entertainment.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'll be like, God, why did you send me here with these people? Like, why? Like, why?
Hey, man, we gotta share the planet. We gotta share
Can
the
you imagine
planet.
living in the 1920s?
In the 1920s,
Wouldn't I be like a slave in the 1920s?
it'd be boring as fuck.
Hey, you know what'd be fucking
bro.
cool? If they had like you know how you can go into like a zombie game where you can go into like they have like a town set up to where you can attack zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if they had a town set up and you rent it out for the weekend, but that whole weekend you're gonna live like you're in the 1920s or whatever year.
You have to
I
pay a
think
lot
that'd
of
be
people.
kind of cool.
Have to pay a lot of people to be involved in that shit.
Kind of like the Renaissance Festival,
type shit.
but they're not in the 1920s.
But they whip you and shit though. That'd be cool.
Like they're like legit. They're like legit.
Hey
fucking
man, in the
racist.
metaverse, there's gonna be all that shit.
Bruh.
I mean,
Gonna be all that shit. But shit, let's wrap this one up.
Let's wrap it up.
Yes,
Rodawgz.
later.